I was actually live. I was up here running my mouth and whatnot. But like I say, shout out to all you guys in the space. I also want to know anybody that's going to be watching the Black Panther movie and stuff. I saw a little quick review on that. Didn't get to see it all. I've heard all kind of mixed reviews on that as well too. I'm hearing mixed reviews on the Twitter blue check. Some people think that it's a great thing that now everybody has access to go ahead and get that blue check on the actual profile. Other people think that it's just a money grab by Elon Musk to go ahead and pump in millions of dollars. So if you got your $7.99, $8, you can now get it. So yeah, a lot of people feel like it's lost its luster, and some people think that now it gives a little man an opportunity to go ahead and be verified. So there's so many different things, so many different topics that I want to touch on today or whatever. Ray, what's going on, man? Are you free to speak? I know you might be at work or whatever doing your thing too.
Man, I'm off, man. Why you think I was also late with y'all last night? Shoot, I know I had to get up this morning.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, let me go ahead. I'm sending you a co-host invite right now, so go ahead and accept that. And like I say, I see some people coming in there, man. Like I say, Farrakhan was getting off, man, and you need to have that because you're not getting very few of our so-called black entertainers are saying anything. But you know, Louis Farrakhan, you can say something when you're your own made man as well, too. So when you don't have to worry about somebody pulling your check, firing you, and being able to handle you like a child, and you are free to speak. Which, let's be for real, fair or not, most of us as black people in this country, we're not in a position to do that. We have to worry about working. We have to worry about providing for our family and kids, having a house over a roof over our head, food in our belly. So what we feel and what we say, are totally two different things. A lot of times they tell you, you have to bite your tongue. So, but this is one man who doesn't have to bite his tongue because he's part of the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad created the Nation of Islam many, many, many moons ago, and it's still up and running. So when you're self-sufficient, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about biting the hand that feeds you. 100K, go ahead, bro.
Hey, peace and love, reparations to the room. Newstoter, how you doing today, man?
What's going on, bro?
Bro, I know I want to touch on this before we get started on the topics. Bro, like I know I keep saying this, but bro, these athletes and entertainers, bro, they all just look weak, man. I just seen right before you sent the link, I seen that in University of Texas, they just banned Kanye West music anywhere on campus. And I'm sitting there like, yo,
are you serious? Are you serious?
I tell you no lie, yes. They just banned his music on the University of Texas campus. And I'm sitting there looking like, yo, these athletes, they the ones making y'all this money. This supposed to be a partnership. They're using that same money to oppress us. So, like, bro, like, what is it just gonna take for these athletes to wake up? Or like, yo, should we just stop supporting these athletes? Because, like I said, they're using that money that they get from off of them and exploiting us with. What y'all think, man?
Real quick, and you say this happened on the University of Texas. DM me that, send me that, because I want to actually see that.
Yeah, I'm a DM to you. I just retweeted it. I'm about to send it to you.
And I can tell you right away.
They starting with them, and it's gonna trickle down into the workspace.
Real quick, 100K. I can tell you how you could end that right now if you're on the University of Texas. All those black football players got to do is walk into the coaches, walk into the athletic director or the president's office and tell them, hey, stop it. We're gonna listen to what we want to listen to. If you don't, come this Saturday, the University of Texas, we know that they are football craze. If y'all try to play us like this, then I promise you we will not be going out here to play this game. And that'll start right then and there. If they sit up here and they tell at the University of Texas, where they're football craze university and the football craze state, if they say that, hey, you're telling us that we can't play Kanye West on the radio and y'all on school grounds or whatever, I tell you what, come this weekend when y'all get ready to play whoever, Oklahoma State or whatever team you playing, you know what? You do it without us. All of the black players are going to sit up here and tell you no. And right then and there, I promise you.
Check your DMs. I just sent it to you, bro. I just sent it to you.
Okay, I'm going to check it. But I tell you right then and there, that would stop instantly. Like those guys, if they went ahead and they stepped up and they said that, say, hey, we're not playing this Saturday. So yeah, you're right. We'll go until we can listen to Kanye West music on campus. We won't be playing. It'll stop right then and there. You got it, Ray.
Bro, I think like, yo, we just gonna have to do like some kind of exclusion act. Like, yo, I understand, these athletes got to get their money for them, But yo, this is a partnership. You're not finna be controlling every single thing we do, knowing we the ones making you y'all money.
Okay, I just saw what that was. I'm gonna get a chance, and they said that they banned his music from sporting events on the actual campus. So I just saw what you were saying, and it was a student government that went ahead and did that. Okay, so like I say, that's when you got to match power with power right there. That's when the actual athletes got to say, well, wait a minute. Okay, now let we're getting too far. We're getting carried away here. If it's gonna be like this right here, we got to do this. And that's at the time. Now that's when you need somebody like Farrakhan who's going to sit up here and say that, because you're not going to get any black entertainers or athletes to come out and say that. They'll say something, well, you're going too far and this and that. But like you're saying, you got to actually match power with power. And right now they're showing power. This is a power move. This is the way you break people and stuff like that. So you got to match power with power. You say, okay, you're right. The student government said this. Well, the student government tell them to go ahead and strap up their shin pads and their helmets and their mouthpieces this weekend, because we ain't going out there on the goddamn football field. We're not playing this weekend. We will not be in Austin Stadium. We will not be in Texas. We will not be suiting up. You will not be getting the Texas University, because they're part of the Big 12 University, gets $50 million from their football contract annually. So, okay, we're not playing. You want to play like this? Take this right here. You'll have a stadium. Let's see y'all get beat by a high school team this weekend. Ray, go ahead. You got it.
I was just gonna say this real quick. Anytime we as black people really want to get something done, the best way we can do it is depriving them of something. So you're 100% spot on. If all those players say, you know what, we're not gonna take our asses out there and play. You're not gonna do Kanye or anybody else like this. Things will change. Let me take y'all back to the let me see, what was the bus boycott? I think it was 56, 55, when they had the Montgomery bus boycott. They lost so much money then that basically they folded. That's the strategy from the 50s that will work then, and it will work today. The thing is, we just have so many people that's all cold if they don't want to do it. I'll land there.
You got the University of Texas. You got Texas, one of the biggest redneck racist states in the entire United States of America, want to sit up here and want to act all uppity and that they're better, they're greater than now, and all this other stuff up here. They got the nerve to sit up here and talk about they're not going to be playing Kanye West with all of the damn slave money and redneck money that been pumped into the state of Texas off the backs of black people. They actually got a nerve to sit up here and say that what they're not going to do at a sporting event. Man, if you don't get on out here, that's why I said somebody like Farrakhan, and Farrakhan mentioned that today, that these people hold this stuff over you. That now they over college, they're gonna hold they'll hold your scholarship over you. They'll hold your contract over you. They hold all this other stuff over your head. For the minute that you get out of line, they can go ahead and they can butt break you. Like he said, his words, he talked about butt breaking today. He talked about reparations being owed to black people. So you got the University of Texas sitting up here talking about now all of a sudden Texas. I bet Texas has some damn buildings named after damn slave owners right there on campus. They got a lot of nerve to say this.
This is a proxy to just attack any black person that say anything that's gonna offend them. It's gonna go to people YouTube channels. It's gonna go into our music, and it's gonna go into the regular workspace. People gonna start getting fired over some anti-Semitic or whatever. Watch.
Yeah. Emmett, we definitely gonna get back to you 100K, so don't leave anywhere. Emmett, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, this is Goddess. How y'all doing this morning?
Goddess, you be changing these profiles up on me. I don't be knowing who you are.
Sorry about that. Right now, I am on that case. So, but I ain't come up here to talk about that right now. I came up here to talk about the topic. You did fill in because I was going to ask you about Farrakhan. So, but it has Farrakhan tether trending. Are you trying to tell me people are calling him a tether?
No. I should have put it. Farrakhan's not a tether. Farrakhan, even though he may be an immigrant, no, tether was trending this morning when I got up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's just make that it's not, Farrakhan is not a tether. We're not sitting up here saying that Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a tether. But we're saying this morning when I got up, the word tether was trending, and part of that was because it's in the finance realm. But you also had a lot of tweets and stuff going on about tethers and this and that. So tether was actually trending. So
okay, so I know they're not talking about Honorable Minister Farrakhan, because I was about to let it rip, but now that I know it's not, then I can move past that. All right, so on to Black Panther. One thing I do not like, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't like movies anymore because I don't like depictions upon things that they don't need to be out there showing. I don't get happy when I see woman king, and because a woman ain't no damn king. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I don't like that at all. I think that as far as being Black and the things that we said that we were going to do when it comes to doing for us and stop doing for them, because when you buy things for NBA, like those jerseys, those shoes, all of those things, those are their things, and that money is going to fatten their pockets, not ours. So I have been posting things where everything I find when it comes to Black businesses, I have been finding them and posting them on my timeline, which I did. I'm sorry, Newstoter. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. But I also did load up your Jumbotron with a couple of things up there, y'all. If you would like to look up there, I talked about boycotting shoes, as I mentioned. Also, as well as other businesses, which are Black businesses. I found things like, for instance, everybody loves Amazon, but hey, we have a Black-owned business which has all of those things the same way. If you want to order from Amazon, you can order from Black businesses. So I put all of those things up there just to start off with, to be able to make sure we're keeping our dollars within our communities and not continuing to fatten other people's pockets that are showing us that they don't like us and don't want us around. So what we're going to do, we can pull our dollars back because we know that we are the economy. And I ain't going to say if, when we pull our money back, that is going to make this economy crash. They are playing with the wrong set of people. So once we all get this understanding and get on code with this and really do this and stick to it, we need to stay with each other when we do that too. Don't turn back, because I have seen so many of our young kids, young people doing things natural, hair natural, all of that. If we're doing that, we need to go all the way. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Okay, well, one thing I did want to point out too is that Farrakhan made an interesting point when he was saying that Kyrie Irving was basically trying to find out about his history, his roots and stuff like that. Kyrie Irving said nothing anti-Semitic about the Jewish faith. Kanye West said nothing, anything. Well, I guess they'll say Kanye said something anti-Semitic, but here's the thing about it. He made the point that's clear too, that we know that, and they know that they're not the fathers of humanity. You know that you're not the fathers of humanity. You know you're not the first people. You know you're not the first spiritual people on this earth. You're not the first biblical people on this earth. So why are you getting upset? Like I said, and when it comes to discussion, he's more than willing to meet with these rabbis. He's more than willing to meet with any of these so-called theological experts and everything else. He's extended the olive branch to any of them that want to actually speak. He wants to actually speak on behalf of a lot of these Black folks and stuff. He wants to speak on behalf of Kanye and Kyrie, and he wants to not only speak, he wants to actually go there. So when you're talking about meeting with people of these different anti-defamation leagues and all this other stuff, he wants to actually be in attendance, him and his people like that. To me, that makes sense. Now, at the same time, he says that you don't get the Jewish faith apologizing to Black people about all of the things that they've done. They're not sitting up here, they're not apologizing and this and that. So he also pointed out the Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, like I said, LeBron James, and he says that the people are basically trying to have Black people fighting, put nigga against nigga. Like, hey, you're getting too big, you're getting too much of this, you're getting too much of that. You see what happened to him, we'll do the same to you. So now you got these Black people sitting up here, and like I said, you've had a bunch of NBA stars the past week or so that's been going after Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving tweeted out something. That's all he did. He tweeted out something. And for that, he's been absolutely crucified and stuff like that. So he made some very valid points that I thought, of course, and we know the media is not going to take Louis Farrakhan serious because Louis Farrakhan is considered the ultimate black anti-Semite. In my entire lifetime, that's all he's been considered is an anti-Semite. They're not going to take anything serious that he says, even though he is met with rabbis and stuff behind the scenes. He said that they tried to give him basically a package or whatever, an envelope, and give him orders on what he's going to do. And he was like, well, that's not going to fly. Like, I'm not, I'm not taking anything. I'm not going to be told. I'm not going to be dictated like as a boy by you people and this and that. No. And that's the problem like that. Right now you have a league basically that can tell you what not to do. And we made a point the other night. They were saying that Kyrie, they rejected his $500K only not because they didn't want the money, but simply because they didn't want to look at as an act of extortion. Ray, you got it. Go ahead, Brad. Ray, and then we get back to you, Goddess.
That's the thing, though. Like you said, I remember seeing a broadcast that Minister Farrakhan did with the Rod and Newman show, and like you said, he's been calling them out. He's saying that we're anti-Semitic and this, that, all this stuff that y'all are claiming. Well, then let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. But they don't want to do that because, like you said, if they sit down and do it, he said, I'm going to make them look foolish. He's like, you know what they feared most about Farrakhan? This thing that's in my mouth called a tongue. They know I'm speaking the truth. But the thing is, like, they just don't want to have that conversation because then, like you said, their title is going to be blown, etc. They're sitting around mad at Kyrie Irving because of something that he posted that goes to Amazon. But right now, you can go on Amazon right now. I just checked. They got a whole bunch of books, literature, CDs, and all this other stuff of Hitler. So what is this really about? I'll land right there. I'll let y'all think about that.
And that's the thing, though. And they're trying to tell Jeff Bezos. But see, when you have money like Jeff Bezos, you have the platform and you have the power that he has. Jeff Bezos hasn't made a move yet. They're telling Jeff, you need to go ahead and take this off. You need to do this, you do that. And like you said, you got all kind of different books and DVDs and everything else on Amazon. But this right here, somehow, the Kyrie Irving, and nobody even paid Hebrews to Negroes any attention to Kyrie Irving tweeted it out. Now, props to that brother because now he's probably getting a nice little stream of income coming in because of all of the major controversy and stuff like that. Because let's be for real, controversy sells. So while his documentary and book probably were kind of under the radar, Kyrie tweets it out, and all of a sudden now it's like the lead national news and stuff like that. So shout out to that brother. I'm not knocking him. I'm glad that he's getting the way he can and whatnot. So that shout out to him. But the fact, like you said, you got all kind of books with Adolf Hitler and everything else. I'm sure you got Klansmen and everything else on the actual platform, Amazon platform, but nobody's upset about that. And you're right. He constantly keeps talking about Farrakhan talks about sitting with the rabbis and everybody else. But nobody wants to sit down and really, really want to delve into that actual that lineage and that history and stuff like that. People go ahead, whether you're a religious person or not, whether you believe in the story of the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or any of that stuff like that. People know that you can go back and you can start going back and tracing things in time and this and that. That's one reason why people, the further you go back and you start looking at these Egyptians and stuff like that, and people, that's a big argument. Well, they're white people. They weren't black. They were actually really Asian or Middle Eastern or this and that or whatever, because they're taking these mummies from the last the last periods and stuff, when you started having all the Europeans and stuff coming in there invading and this and that, and so they're not going to go back and they're not going to do DNA tests on the absolute oldest mummies that they can. No, they're going to go ahead and they're going to get these newer ones that's going to be all mixed up and have European and everything else mixed into it. So they don't really want to go back in time. Like we know the further you go back in time, the blacker things really get. And nobody wants to sit here and do that. And that's what they're pissed about, because Kyrie Irving didn't say anything derogatory about the Holocaust. He never said a Holocaust didn't exist and this and that. And that's the issue. Remember years ago, you had the white woman that was sitting up here. She started talking about that, I think she was a Fox News host. I can't remember who she was. She's sitting up here talking about, well, Jesus was white and Santa Claus, she threw Santa Claus is white and this and that. So anything and everything of importance is always white. Goddess, go ahead and unmute your mic.
You were I was sitting up here making some notes because you hit so many good points that I had actually been talking to my granddaughter on the phone. She's 14. And I was just talking to her about how a lot of things were whitewashed. And I was telling her about Cleopatra. She told me that Cleopatra in school, they told her Cleopatra was white. I said, well, Google Cleopatra. She Googled, while I'm on the phone with her, she Googled Cleopatra and all white. So, of course, I let her know, well, Cleopatra is not white, she's black. So while I'm on the call with her, my baby, she started Googling and finding out all kind of stuff that I hadn't even yet. I was getting ready to get to it, but she was so upset that how they lied to her that she started Googling all kind of stuff, and she found the true Cleopatra, and she knows black people, all the things that were taught to her and that are being taught to her right now is not true. And when I luckily was on the call, her mother was on the phone, which of course I talked to her that indoctrinated way. Unfortunately, she's 33. But while she was on that call, I was able to get her to understand that what I'm teaching her daughter, that she needs to take her out of that school so that I can teach both of my grandchildren because I have the time to do it. So she agreed. So now I will be teaching my own grandchildren from home, and I'm going to be teaching them Black history as it should be taught.
And you're doing the right thing there, sister. You're doing the right thing. The only thing is, our only issue is that we can't. A lot of us are not in positions to homeschool our kids. But you're right. Even after they get out of school, you still got to teach them and let them know about the history and stuff like that. But I really wish that financially that we had the actual means of really homeschooling our kids, because that's really where it is learned at. When I was in school,
Can I tell you something? I'm ready to interrupt, but I want everybody to understand this. It is not a financial thing, nor is it do you have to have a degree. As long as you have 6 hours of instruction, it does not matter what time of the day that you do it. If you got to go to work during the day, I understand that. But if it's some way that or somehow that some family members, if we can try to do this somewhere, somehow, where we can have it where we can, the people that need a babysitting during the time that they cannot homeschool, that they can, so they can work, then by the time when they get off, or either whoever they have watching them can homeschool them, or if they don't have that ability, whoever can watch them so that that parent can work, when they get home, they can homeschool their child. Because again, all you have to have is 6 hours instruction.
thank you, sister. I appreciate that. Anybody else too? I mean, don't be afraid to come up here and get the mic today and just express what you feel. Like I say, the conversations on Farrakhan. Farrakhan came to aid of Kyrie Irving and Kanye West. He also was talking about the actual the systematic racism against black folks to the point that you can't even say something. Historically, people are trying to change the narrative. They're trying to destroy any kind of conversation that black people do about tracing their roots. Anytime you're a black person and you start talking about your roots and your history in this world or this and that, it's always considered Afrocentric. It's always reverse racism. It's always something negative to white people, because white people have went ahead, and history means his story. They have gone ahead and they have changed the narrative on what things actually are. So you can't sit up here and say anything. And the fact of the matter, like I say, people are sore about the actual, and Nick Cannon. I know a lot of people, we kind of iffy with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon at least come and says some stuff about what's been going on recently as well too. Unfortunately, a lot of times with our black stars, they have to go ahead and they get them to the point where they break them and they make them apologize, and I'm sorry and I'm this and that. They talk about 6-step programs. They talk about taking billions of dollars from people. They're talking about the cancel culture and this and then all this other stuff that really only applies to us. Because after a while, years ago, when, like I said, when Mel Gibson was going off on black people and Jews and this and that, people thought that was the end of Mel Gibson, but no, Mel Gibson still stayed around. Mel Gibson is still here. So that's what we need to worry about as well too. I see my man DJ coming up in the spot. DJ, I'm sending you the co-host as well too. I'm sending you the co-host invite as well too. So Ray, go ahead and then let's go get back to you, Goddess.
This is going to be really quick. I heard you bring up Egypt, so I just wanted to touch a little bit about that and the pyramids and all this stuff. Because, they claim that, it was the white people that built the pyramids. I was listening to, it was a very old broadcast by John Henry Clark. And basically, he said something to the notion of, let's just use, some common sense. So you're telling me that these white people, they left wherever they came from, came to Egypt, and they built up these great pyramids, but they could take their ass back to wherever they came from and do the same exact thing. Black, if I really want you to think, does that really make any sense to you? And I actually sat there and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that really doesn't make any sense. So just little stuff like that. I know this is not trending, but I just wanted to mention this. So today is the 108th birthday of Mother Randall. She is one of the last, there's only 3 of them left, and she's one of the last surviving members of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And it's really crazy because they can't say, oh, that was so long ago, we need to move on, because the people are still here 108 years later fighting for justice. I definitely want to mention that. That's his birthday. I land there.
Yeah, and you tweeted that out, and I retweeted and said happy birthday to her too. And just touching back to what you said, in peace to that sister, and the amount of things she saw, and when people started talking about racism, slavery ended 150, and all this other dumb stuff. 150. This lady was she's probably actually the grandchild of an actual slave. But just touching what you said, and Dr. John Henry Clark, he made an excellent point. I want to just throw this in there too. Like, how in the hell are a bunch of white people gonna sit up there in goddamn Egypt back in that time and build damn pyramids for hundreds of years when they couldn't take the heat like that? So I mean, that in itself is even crazy too. You weren't gonna see a bunch of white people sitting up there in no goddamn Egypt in the heat of Africa, sitting up here building pyramids with damn stones and stuff that probably weigh 1,000 pounds and stuff like that. So even that whole thing was just mind blowing. But they come up and they say this ignorant stuff like that, man. If you don't get the hell up out of here, you are the ice people. If we were actually to go in and trace back further too, I'm willing to bet that a lot of those actual cathedrals and a lot of those palaces and stuff like that, even in damn ancient times of Europe, also probably black people played a hand in building those as well too. And we were actually to go ahead and start pulling receipts and stuff like that. People want to act like that Europe has always been lily white, but that's not the case. And even before we start talking about the invasion of the Moors and stuff like that, man, just whether you believe in the out of Africa theory or not, okay, at one time this world was black from corner to corner. So this
it's really just, if you think about it, the people that went out of their way to go to a whole other continent and kidnap people are going around telling us about how much stuff they built. Just that on its surface just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the same people that probably were the poorest people in the world and stuff like that too. They did all of this great stuff. It seems to me that whenever they got around other people, saw other people and their ideas and their culture and stuff, give them credit. They were able to go ahead and they were able to take these ideas, borrow it, and they were able to build on them and create them and sometimes even improve things like that. But they were like a parrot. They saw other people doing things before time and whatnot. Oh, wow. Because they weren't the first to build boats or build houses or any of this other stuff. All this other stuff that they want to talk about. They're not the father of architect and mathematics and science and everything else. They're not the best in terms of agriculture and everything else. So they saw other people doing things when they came from out of in Europe doing the Ice Age and stuff like that. They bonded together. They saw the world was not all white. They saw that, hey, there's a lot of people out here that don't look like us. We need to band together because they were used to beating the shit out of each other over there in their own homeland. So they said, hey, it's life or death. And not only that, why are these people, why are they living the way they living? They walking around eating well, dressing well, they have a culture and this and that. We need to get some of that. So let's be honest here. Go ahead, Goddess. You there, Goddess?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I was laughing because when you were talking about how they talking about they live in Egypt and they white. Because I'm laughing because that's why they're trying to hide the sun, trying to cover it because they cannot, their sun is too hot for them. So to say that they are building pyramids in that heat and also doing anything in that heat is funny to me because you're already trying to block the sun in the United States. So if you're trying to block it in the United States, and you're in Egypt over there, man, if you don't get out my face with that lie. Also, I was talking to this white woman when I was at the poll, and she was talking to me about the sun. She was saying that she has been going out in the sun trying to get used to the sun. She also said that she does not use the sunscreen, which I'm hope and pray that, well, I ain't going to say hope because I ain't using that word. Everyone that's black should not need to use sunscreen. You're putting that stuff in your body and it's getting into your bloodstream and all that. That's one thing. Another is you're black. You are melanated. That is your sunscreen. Also, that sunscreen has properties in it that has been giving people melanoma. And a lot of that is where you're getting that melanoma from. It's not from the vitamin D from that sun. It's from that application of that stuff you putting on your skin. So also, I wanted to say hello to Dee. I don't get to say hi to you much, but hello. Just want to say hello about that. Also, I want to let y'all know this real quick. I know it's not on the topic, but December the 3rd, we will be making our trip back to Kentucky, to Bowling Green, Kentucky. So if anybody is in Newstoter, I wanted to let you know this too, so you can have this information. I'm about to start putting out, and if you want me to send you the information so you can spread the word, let me know. We will be making a trip back to Kentucky to visit Carolyn Bryant. That warrant will be served. It is information that Mississippi did send the warrant to Kentucky. So we're getting that warrant served. There's more people that are having knowledge about who he is, because believe it or not, there are people older than me in their 70s that say they did not know who Emmett is. But now that the movie has come out, we have renewed the people's mind. And also for people that did not know who he was, now they know who he is. And we have people that are fired up, not just us. We had them other folks fired up too. And I want them to come. I don't give a damn who it is. We need to have as many people as we can get to travel to Kentucky so we can get that warrant served, because it needs to be, hey, if you had a warrant and you were sitting in court with a warrant, you would have been served with that warrant. You wouldn't have been going through all these years living your life with a warrant for kidnapping and murder and it not be served on you. And they knew where you were. So therefore, that's why we will be the same way we were going through Raleigh with the same people that we had with us. For security, we will have, I do want our people to show up and show out, because we need to make sure that these people understand when it comes to our Black children, we are not having any more Emmett Tills. So that's the end to that. We will not have any more time where you're going to continue putting your hands on us, our Black men, our Black women. We're not doing that anymore. So going forward, if that's what you choose to do, you will see us. Thank you so much.
All right, sister, I appreciate that. And yeah, definitely go ahead and keep me informed, and you can send me the information. Like I say, I kind of got thrown off with the actual profile today. I know you be changing profiles and stuff. So when I saw the profile, I didn't, I just looked at the picture. I didn't know who it was. I said, okay, well, we got Emmett, we got somebody named Emmett Till. So, and I didn't even look at the whole thing. So yeah, definitely go ahead and keep us all informed on that.
If I get that in other spaces, they be like, okay, Emmett. And when I start talking, they be like, oh.
Yeah, like it messed me up. Like I say, we want to address about Farrakhan. We want to talk about Black Panther 2 as well too, like, because I know that came out. A lot of people, I've heard a couple reviews on that. One review, and I only heard one review, and it was kind of like iffy. They felt that certain characters, I guess, wasn't developed enough in there, and this and that. So if anybody has seen it or plans on seeing it, please come on up here and let us know. I want to talk about the actual Twitter blue check as well too, the verification. That was something that always seemed like it was pretty hard to get. So now that's something now that, hey, if you got $7.99, $8, you can go ahead and you get that Twitter verification too. Like, I'm not knocking anybody that wants to get it. Anybody that wants to get it, I definitely, hey, more power to you. Also, man, this like I say, when I woke up this morning, the thing Tether was trending, and I don't want to create no diaspora war or whatnot, but it was this one comment with this dude real quick that I got to read this real quick. This dude, I think he's a Ghanese or whatever, and he was talking noise about heterosexual Black men and stuff like this and that. So let me just read this real quick. He says, Black heterosexual men are the most privileged and dangerous people within the Black community, yet they love to play the villain and the victim role at the same time. Now, this person here, I'm assuming that this person is not a straight person. I'm assuming, and this person also, like I said, has a Ghanaian flag or whatever. So, of course, he caught some hell for what he said, and I'm just going to read to you some of the comments. It says, here you go, sir. This is right. You should seek help with your deep-rooted anti-black cis male feelings. Oh wow, yeah, this dude's trauma is where his anti-hetero black male hate comes from. He clearly hates black men, which would include himself. Okay, let's read something. How does the least educated, least employed, most deleted, and incarcerated in the black community equal to the most privileged? That's absurd, and I like to know that too. How can the people how can you be the most privileged and all this and that or whatever? So this like I was seeing this stuff trending this morning when I got up. I say, what's going on here now with this whole tether talk and whatnot? And like I said, just to be fair, tether is also in the financial aspect as well, but also you had quite a few posts and stuff like that because Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke, whatever you want to call him, Mr. Two Live Crew, he said something a few days ago where he was saying that it's easier, and I just found this, head scratching when he made this comment. Of course, Uncle Luke, is Caribbean, but he made a comment saying that it's easier to get a gun in the black community than it is to get a book. And I'm saying, like, come on, man, you know that's not true. You know that's
never had to have a background check for a book.
never. You can go get you can get a book out of black communities. I mean, so what are we talking about right here? I just found that just a little bit, cheapish right there to say that. I mean, that to me, that was a low blow. It was not needed or whatever. Like I say, I don't want to start any diaspora war, this and that or whatever, because we got a bunch of cool family worldwide that support black Americans and stuff like that. But for the ones that don't, man, and I had to tell somebody something earlier, like, well, this dude he had this little video and talking about how he's gonna come in. He's sitting up there with a Hispanic dude as well. He's making a little video talking about how they're gonna conquer. He's coming here to America, and he's in America. He's gonna conquer black people and this and that. And I'm like, well, man, you couldn't even conquer your own homeland, so how are you gonna conquer over here? It's that kind of stuff, man, that really creates a rift with people. Why don't you shut up, come over here, work, get your business, take care of your family, do what you got to do without trashing the people that actually created a lane for you to come here, man, and prosper and do well for yourself. To me, that would make the most sense. Why are you sitting up here and you're up here with somebody else? I'm sure that this Hispanic fella also has some anti-black sentiments he shared as well too, but you're sitting up here because he's smiling at everything that the black dude is saying and whatnot. Man, why don't you shut up and just do what you got to do, man? 100K and then Ray, because 100K, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, bro, like these tethers, man, bro, they true color showing, especially with the surge of the FDA. But they know at the end of the day, family, they know they powerless. They not for them. They when it comes to it, they not gonna put no boots to the ground. All they can do is stand on the sideline and watch us do what we got to do. And eventually, like we can check them Newstoter. Like it's not necessarily a diaspora war. It's just that they get out of line, they gonna get put back in their place.
Oh no, and I'm in agreement with that because, like I say, but I'm saying that I'm cool with a number of non-FBA, non-Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they understand. They say, hey, yeah, man. Sometimes our people just run their mouths too much. They don't understand that we all battling against white supremacy. That the fact that we're able to come to this country and enjoy the few benefits that you get being black is because of what your people went through. So I have respect and I have love for those people that can at least go ahead and admit that or whatever. But it's the ones that come over here and they don't believe that black people, they believe that black people were slaves and they built the country, but that is white folks' ass that they got to kiss. Those are the ones we have a problem with. Those are the ones we have a beef with. The rest of the other ones that come here and know what I'm saying, they can respect the culture, they can respect the struggle, and they're willing. If you're not willing to join in the struggle, then just sit back and chill. You don't have to provide any kind of commentary. You know what I'm saying? Once you start providing commentary and dissing people and stuff, like you had the cat that got killed by the white girl or the Nigerian dude that ended up dating a white girl, and he's taking shots at black women and stuff the whole time, posting all kind of stuff on Twitter and stuff. And then the minute he gets killed by this white girl, and you got tapes and stuff coming out where they talk about the white girl was calling him nigga and stuff now or whatever. Once you get killed by it, his family, and I don't mean to make light of the situation, but his family's like, well, hey, can you guys throw your support behind it? My brother was immature. My brother, he didn't mean that. He said that when he was in high school and this and that. And black people are like, well, no, man, we have to kind of wash our hands with the situation. Like your brother, no disrespect to you and your family, God rest the dead, but your brother's on his own. His memory's on his own. Y'all go ahead. And since he had all this hatred and he looked down on black women and he's spitting on them and he's talking about this and that or whatever, y'all got to pretty much look out for yourself. You got it, Ray.
So real quick, I just want to definitely agree with I forget her name was Emmett. I'm sorry, I forget what your real you said your name was.
That's
But
Goddess. Goddess.
Definitely want to agree with what you were saying about Emmett Till because this country used military intelligence to find Saddam Hussein as in Iraq in a hole that was like 6 foot deep. They also used military intelligence to find fucking what's his name, Bin Laden over in Pakistan in whatever house he was hiding out in. But you telling me they can't find this old decrepit heifer doggone living right here in Kentucky? I don't believe that, man. Come on.
Well, they found don't leave out the fact that they found his father, and I did not know. I don't know if y'all knew that the United States government, their military used to hang their soldiers. So that lie was put on Emmett's father, and they used that lie in court to use against, is to try to say that his father was the same way, that he raped somebody or whatever. But the United States Army, the government killed him.
I believe he was either hung or shot, but I can't remember. Yeah, they actually hung Emmett Till's father or shot him in the army for allegedly raping someone. But I wanted to direct everyone's attention to Jumbotron because you were talking about the Suns. I wanted to make sure everyone saw this. It's the second slide from the left. This is what it looks like when certain people put on sunscreen and you look at them from a certain with a certain light. They're actually black. Sunscreen is actually mimicking melanin. I want everyone to definitely see that up in the Jumbotron.
I'm so glad you put that up there. I was gonna say that, but I ain't know if anybody was gonna catch it, so I left that out.
No. Hey, I'll be on it. I'll be on it. I saw it, but I haven't seen that YouTube video in a long time. And ever since I saw it years ago, and I was like, man, that's very interesting. So, I mean, it's still up there if y'all want to see it. That is what, like I said, I'm just saying white people look like when you put sunscreen on them and you look at them under a certain light, they literally are hiding black under the sunscreen, not laying there.
Let me just say that apparently Howard Stern, he was on TMZ and he was shredding Kyrie Irving as well too. Now Howard Stern, for years, he wore blackface as well too. Another Jewish person wearing blackface. He called Kyrie Irving, I believe, a moron and a douchebag. Here's somebody that he had his little black flunky on there because I know I saw in a couple comments people talk about how he degraded the black woman and stuff, and you had white people running his defense. How did he degrade Robin? How did he degrade Robin? Was basically his do girl on his little show, laughing at all his stupid jokes and pretty much his lapdog. So you got Howard Stern, somebody up here sitting up here who wore blackface. Definitely no friend of the black race.
She had the nerve to say something. She had blackface.
Oh well, y'all must have because I put that post out. I did a post of that, and that thing ended up going viral. I mean, something like it had something like over close to 400,000 impressions and stuff like that. It's still people are still commenting and tweeting it and liking it and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I talked about Sarah Silverman as well and her anti-blackness and stuff like that. But it's like Jewish people feel like they can go ahead and they can be anti-black or people, and you even have people defending me. I've even seen black people talk about, well, they did it in the basis of comedy. They did it in the comedy routine and stuff. So you can hide your anti-blackness in a routine or in a movie or in a TV show or something like that, and it's okay.
Yeah, but we can't do the same. We couldn't make a joke about killing Jewish people. We couldn't. You see how they attack us, Farrakhan, on a daily basis. Like you said, they look at him as being the black person that is just the most anti-Semitic person in the world. Even though Farrakhan said, hey, if y'all want to, we can sit down. Prove what you're saying. Prove I'm an anti-Semite. They don't want that smoke, though.
Well, why do you think white people to this day still have a grudge against Malcolm X? Now, they'll pretend and they'll sit up and they'll say, well, we like Malcolm X once he came back from Mecca. We liked him when he became more inclusive and this and that, but
more docile.
Yeah, and that's nonsense because they didn't like any version of Malcolm X because Malcolm X still, even when he came back from Mecca, he still was about black people first and foremost. So they have never, even Muhammad Ali. I mean, you have a lot of white folks sit up here and they'll tell you that they love Muhammad Ali and they not talking about just as a boxer, they talk about as a person or whatever. But there are a lot of white people to this day. When Muhammad Ali died, they were glad that he died. They did not like Muhammad Ali. They did not like his mouth. They felt like Muhammad Ali was one that brought in a different era of black people and stuff like that. Those who weren't going to just sit there and take it as so many other black men before him did. So it's a lot of pretending with this stuff right here. Like I say, with Malcolm X. And then I know, like, even growing up, when that movie Malcolm X came out, you had a lot of black people say, well, you know, that should have won best movie of the year or something. Even at the time when I was young, I'm like, well, just reading and just understanding who Malcolm X was, I'm like, well, you can't really be serious to think that organization, and let's be for real, Hollywood and the Oscars and all these other awards and stuff are really run by the Jewish community, that they're going to actually give somebody like, and even Spike Lee, who wasn't a big fan, they weren't a big fan of Spike Lee. You don't really think they're going to actually give an award to a movie like Malcolm X on a character based on Malcolm X. You don't really think they're going to say, well, this is the best. This is the best picture of the year. Like, I mean, no way in the world they're going to do that.
Hey, just so you know, Bill Cosby, I'm sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say Bill Cosby and Janet Jackson and Prince actually funded that movie. The movie about Malcolm X. Oh,
you had a lot of black people. You had I think Michael Jordan. Say what you want to about him. I think he chipped in. Magic Johnson chipped in. He got a lot of black people in Hollywood that actually, you know what I'm saying, actually chipped in to go ahead and get that movie made.
I was saying y'all was in my head because I that last slide I have up there. I have it up there. Malcolm X has given us an assignment.
Oh yeah, I gotta check that out there. But yeah, it was a lot of people, man, that actually helped fund that movie and stuff, because it was such an important movie at that time. So, you know, Spike Lee, he did get help from black Americans. Now, I wish the same black Americans would have went ahead when Bill Cosby was trying to try to buy NBC and stuff like that and pull their resources together. At that time, none of them wanted to really go in there with Bill Cosby. So it would have been nice to get some of those same black people to pull their resources together and control one of the largest media outlets in the entire world. That would have really made a difference. Go ahead, Ray.
Just really, really quick, I just wanted to add about, since we're talking about Malcolm X, it's been brought to light that the people that were accused of killing Malcolm X, you know, all those decades ago, and obviously there was a Netflix or Hulu story about it too, but they actually got paid like $30-40 million because they were innocent this whole time, and they spent all those years in jail. So obviously that leaves the question: if they did do it, who did?
Yes, sir. And I tweeted out that article a couple times from a couple different sources. I know Black Enterprise, I believe Atlanta Black Star. I had quite a few sources on the Newstoter platform that I went ahead and I tweeted out that article as well too last week and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely true. I believe they got $25 or $30 million, and if they didn't kill him, and it's always been said that those people they weren't the ones that actually killed him and stuff like that, but whoever killed him was put up to it, I'm sure, by the government. It's no secret.
I got that information from Newstoter in reference to those men. That's where I got the information. I would like to let you know that. That's where I got the information. If you all don't know, you better know. He has a lot of information. If you want it, he has it.
Thank you, sister. I definitely appreciate that. And I'm going to try to find that while we on here and put that in a Jumbotron so anybody that see it, like, yeah, the government, man, the government helped create the whole. I'm not going to sit here and say that all of the problems that went on in the Nation of Islam was all because of the government and stuff like that, but they certainly played a hand in it. I know people say that there was jealousy between some of the ministers and this and that or whatever. Okay, it was festered by the damn government. It was festered by J. Edgar Hoover and them and the FBI and the rest of them writing fake ass letters and creating even more tension and stuff like that. They were the ones helping to fester this stuff right here, because people don't. I've heard that, you know, that even after he left, that, you know, Malcolm still at times had contact with Elijah Muhammad and stuff like that. So a lot of these beef and a lot of this stuff right here, people forget that these people will put bugs in there and stuff like that. And we saw that with also Jesus oh my God, his name Fred Hampton. Look at that. I mean, come on. I mean, from Fred Hampton to the Martin Luther King and this and that, like, you could not have anything at that time where these people were not going to interfere in. So yeah, not to say that you didn't have conflict in the Nation of Islam, because I don't know, I wasn't around at that time, so I couldn't say. I don't know the inner workings of the nation and stuff like that. But so yeah, you may have had jealousy or whatever, or disagreements or whatever, but it was exasperated by the actual FBI. The FBI, J. Edgar Hoover made made no bones about it. He destroyed the Black Panthers.
He also was the one behind going to get that information against Emmett Till's father to take into court against them, to have them used in court to get those white men off.
Absolutely. Now, do you hear? And not, to my knowledge, isn't the FBI building still named after J. Edgar Hoover?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so why isn't anybody sitting up here saying, you know what? J. Edgar Hoover's been dead for how long? He can no longer hurt people. Why won't the FBI change that name from J. Edgar Hoover? When we was having all of this stuff back in 2020, we started taking down these Confederate statues and changing the name of these buildings and stuff like that. You didn't hear not one person mention, hey, I think it's time that the FBI, with all of the anti-hatred that J. Edgar Hoover showed, well, let's go ahead and remove J. Edgar Hoover's name off of that. All of this stuff, J. Edgar Hoover had dirt on politicians, Hollywood stars, actors, you name it, civil rights leaders. He went after everybody. When this man died, they should have went ahead the same way they did over there in Russia when Joseph Stalin died, and they changed the name of the city and whatnot. They should have went ahead and got rid of J. Edgar Hoover. They should have dusted his name up off of that stuff right there, but they wouldn't do it. You got it right.
Trying to change the name of Fort Bragg because it was named after some Confederate soldier. They trying to rename an army base, because it was named after a Confederate soldier, but you don't want to get rid of a man who had plenty of people killed.
Plenty people killed.
They look up to people like J. Edgar Hoover. Like this, I mean, y'all probably know this. You know, I'm here with the tells you black people. It was alleged that he was, probably one of the most prominent LGBT people that ever lived. J. Edgar Hoover.
Yep, and he had some black too.
Oh, yeah. Actually buried not too far from a guy named Clyde Tolson. That was his alleged, he's an air quotes, gay lover. If you Google where he's buried, you'll see that dude is buried.
That's not alleged. That's not alleged. He will say alleged, but I will say it because he don't say alleged. But you can say it for purposes that's already out there in the atmosphere, that it is already out that he was in a cross dresser.
How you gonna be buried not too far from someone that worked in your administration?
All his anti-hatred he had trying to destroy black people, and this joke, and like God has said, and we've been heard that he was supposed to have some black in him. So it's just like they say with Hitler. Didn't Hitler have some Jewish in him as well too?
Well, the thing about Hitler is, I had a thought the other day. Why would America pay for something that another country did? Because they're the ones that told him how to do what he did. So that's why.
Oh yeah, they were the ones that the Nazis studied Jim Crow from the Americans over here. Okay, they gave them the blueprint on how to go ahead and control their subjects and whatnot, and how to absolutely destroy them. So when people start sitting up here and talk about that there's only one Holocaust, and people used to get mad, Jewish people used to get mad. They did not want black people to talk about that we experienced a Holocaust as well too. They didn't kill 6 million. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here by 6 million, I can tell you, and this is just my estimate and my educated guess, I can tell you, in my personal opinion,
before they even got here.
Listen, in the past 300-400 years, they probably killed at least 100 million black people in this world, at least. And that is a very low ball number right there, at least. So you can sit up here and talk about that you were the only ones that experienced a Holocaust. We experienced a Holocaust for hundreds of years. It didn't last no 10, no 12 years, but hundreds of years. And if you really want to be honest, the black race has had a foot up his ass since the time that Egypt fell. So for the past 2,500 years, it's been a target on black people's back, if you want to be truthfully honest.
We are still being genocide, so that ain't changed. The number is going up because they ain't stopped.
Yeah, they always hide history. I bet y'all don't even know that the Queen of England, she has German ancestors. Queen of England, who was that?
Look, all those people over there, Ray, all of those, all of the royal family and shit like that, they all related. They all cousins and stuff. That's why they put them all. Whether you
all the presidents are related back to that queen.
That's what I always heard too, that the presidents, because in Obama related to somebody and this and that. So yes, it's
Obama too, because remember his mother was what?
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like on his mother's side, because I can't remember. I don't remember if they talk about he was related to Dick Cheney or somebody, or he's related to the Bushes or whatever. But yeah, all of these people.
I'm gonna go get that. There's a diagram of there, all the presidents, and even Obama is in there. I'm gonna get ready to go find it because it is out there.
Yeah, you find that, sister, and if you get a chance, DM me that. If you find it beforehand, put it in the jumbotron as well too. We definitely want to find out more about that. But I've always heard that they're all related as well too. So just more and more. Not.
I believe George Carlin spoke on that too. I actually love comedians like him, white or not. He spoke the truth for a lot of shit, man. He would always, give little hints about stuff like that in his comedy routine. And one of the things he'd always say is, "It's a big fucking club. You ain't in."
Yeah, George Carlin. I mean, like you say, white or not, George Carlin had a major sack on him. Like that Joker talked some serious noise, boy. I mean, he said some stuff that pissed a lot of people off in the, especially when you talk about religion and stuff like that. Yeah, he really said a lot of things that really pissed a whole lot of folks off as well too. So, like I said, just getting back to this thing about Farrakhan, I had to give Farrakhan his due and stuff. I know a lot of times people want to sit up here and say, what has the Nation of Islam done? Like back to the Malcolm X movie, like when you had that one scene talk about Muslims only look after for Muslims and this and that. Like a lot of people say this and that right there, that Farrakhan, isn't doing anything. Farrakhan's too old or whatever. I hope that the nation has a succession plan. So when Farrakhan does leave, when he gets too old to do it, when he dies off or whatever, that they can go ahead and just slip somebody else in. I don't want to see the nation go down. I want to see them to continue to do what they do. I know a lot of black people say that they only do for Muslims, that they're not doing enough of this and that or whatever. The point of the matter is that they've been around a long time. They're self-sufficient. You have to go ahead and give them that credit for that. I know people say that they can't. I don't even understand this part. They say that the nation can't get too political when Farrakhan ain't nothing but political. Like that's all he talks about is politics. They talk because you have the 501 tax exempt status or whatever that they can't really get too political and stuff like that. I'm like, well, maybe I've been missing something because he sure says a lot of whole political things and stuff right here. Now, I'm sure this is going to piss off a lot of Jewish people and whatnot. I see Shepard up in the house. Shepard, you want to say something or you just chilling for right now?
Oh, yeah, I'm just listening to y'all build. Go ahead and finish. I'll chime in.
No, okay, no. We discussing a number of different things, man. Like I say, Farrakhan, of course, I don't know if you got a chance to see the YouTube video. I saw pretty much all of it except maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes. He was talking about the whole situation with Kanye and Kyrie Irving. He's just saying that these people aren't anti-Semitic, that, Kyrie, all he's trying to do is find out about his roots, his heritage, and this and that, and he's been thrown to the wolves by some of his own people as well, too. Some of these NBA stars and stuff, the Shaqs of the world and the Charles Barkley and anything Charles Barkley said, nobody should be surprised about. Whenever, like, even from the Trayvon Martin thing to whatever, whenever it's something dealing with black people, especially when it's some kind of police murder or something like that, it's pretty much always, the black person's fault or they didn't have enough evidence or based on evidence, they had to let this person go. So whatever Charles Barkley says or whatever, I really take it with a grain of salt, but you had a number of other black athletes and prominent people and stuff like that. And, pretty much all jumping in and this and that. It would have been nice to see some of our black athletes say, you know what, I don't have any opinion on it. I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. You can't do that because then they're going to have a target on you. So you got to come out and say something. A lot of people don't want to mess up their endorsements, their gravy line, even though they may have 50, 60, 70, $100 million in the bank. Like Latrell Sprewell say, hey, I got to feed my kids or whatnot. So a lot of people say, I'm not going to get in it or whatever, or I'm just going to go ahead and toe the company line. So he made mention of that. He made mention of that Kyrie and even Kanye to a certain degree are being made examples out of, and that everybody else has to be a good nigga and go about doing what they're supposed to do or whatever, because they can go ahead and they can pull your contract and they can go ahead and pull the carpet from underneath you. You got it, Goddess.
I want to say something about Kyrie, which I believe that what I know a lot of people don't know about him. Kyrie Irving knows who the fuck he is. I'm sorry. Kyrie Irving knows who he is. So when I listened to something he was saying the other day, I recorded it, and listening to him speak, he don't care. He's living his true life. He's living who he is, and he don't care. He's not afraid. And if you are afraid, then you won't do nothing. And if you are afraid, then those are the people who they can butt break. Because you're afraid to do something, you ain't gonna go run out here and do that because you allowed them to break you already when you went out here and put on them dresses or whatever else they did to you. So those people are afraid to come out because if they do, then they're gonna come out with whatever they did to get there where they're at. Kyrie did not do that. They're jealous of the fact that Kyrie did not sell out. And so therefore, they're not going to come to his defense because they did. And they could be humiliated if they were to come out. So, because they did some stuff to get the money that they had, and Kyrie didn't. He came out and it did. If he did in the beginning, I don't know. But I know of him now, and what I've been seeing him over the last, when they started messing with him about that juice that they wanted him to put in his arm. He was not doing that because he knows who he is, and he's not going to succumb to none of that. So they then, even with that, they backed off of him and allowed him to play, but just not in the state of New York, wherever he's played. I don't even watch basketball. But anyway, wherever he played, I don't even know who he played for because I'm sorry, y'all, I don't watch.
He played with the New Jersey Nets. He played with the New Jersey Nets. Let me ask you a quick question, Goddess, because I know one time you was in the space when we was doing the thing about the what was it, the Little Mermaid? No, I don't know. No, it was not the Little Mermaid. Which one? It had to be the Woman King. Was it the Woman King or the Little Mermaid?
The Woman King.
Okay. Do you plan, Sister, on seeing? Because I know you got some grandkids and stuff. Do you plan on taking them to see the Black Panther too?
Let me tell y'all something. I didn't go on to see no Woman King. I was at the polls, and I was helping out at the polls as far as the mayor that I wanted to win. So I was helping her out there. Some woman and her daughter came out to vote in local elections because I made people understand that local elections affect you. So she was out there with her 18-year-old daughter, and they started talking about that woman with that movie Woman King, and they got so excited. But then I was letting them know, wait a minute, we're not going to get excited over a movie called The Woman King. Women are not kings, first of all. Let's start there. I said, another thing is, I don't want to see nothing that is going to try to depict my Black men as beneath a woman. So no, I'm not going to see anything that is showing me that a woman is above a man. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. That's just me. And I don't believe in that. I'm not a feminist. If you go run your ass out here and do something that you ain't got no business doing, and you call me for help, and you did it and you wrong, don't call me because I ain't coming, because I'm not a feminist. I'm gonna tell you, I don't even know where that word came from because that ain't me. I ain't never been that. But yeah, all of that, those Black Panther, I'm not going to see that. As I was saying earlier, I don't like to look at propaganda. I don't like to look at programs and things of that nature. I do Black media and I teach. I don't want to look at programming. So no, sir, I will not be watching that.
Okay. Yeah, I just want, if anybody's in the space that have any kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews and you plan on going to take them to see the Black Panther 2 movie, go ahead and let me know. I ain't gonna lie, like my youngest boy, he wanted to go and see the first Black Panther, and I took him and whatnot. His brother, he doesn't really like the movies, but he wanted to go see. And this was back in 2018 or whatever. So we went or whatever, and he enjoyed himself and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to see, Ray, I know you got kids. Are you going to take them to see this movie or not?
I'm saving up for Christmas.
He said he's saving up. He said he's saving up for Christmas.
The last movie I saw was Top Gun. I went to go see it only because I had a small role in it. As a lot of y'all know, I've said this before, I was in the Navy for a lot of years. And when I was getting out, they filmed Top Gun 2 on my old ship, which was the USS Theodore Roosevelt. So I was stationed on there back in 2019. I got to meet Tom Cruise. Now, like I said, I was involved in the film, and I had a small, 2-second role in the film. That was it.
You know, that's dope, son.
Not 2 seconds.
Damn, I ain't know that, Ray. I don't remember you ever telling me that.
But he said he had a 2-second role.
No. You can't have 2 seconds in a movie and be a movie star. Well, for those of you that seen Top Gun, y'all remember the part where Tom Cruise, he landed in some foreign Air Force base, and he had to hijack an F-14, and then the F-14 took off, and the front wheel broke off, and he had to crash land on the aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Well,
And they had to catch him.
Say again.
And they had to catch that plane from going off the ship.
Yes, they had to catch the plane from going off the ship, and it crash landed. If you notice, there's a guy that comes up right after the crash lands with a CO2 bottle. That's me.
You doing movie stuff.
Damn.
Now I'm gonna go look at that. Just click that because I know that part you talking about. I'm getting ready to go find that.
Dog power. Look at that. We gonna go get the movie now.
Also, y'all, I want to know how y'all feel about the new Twitter blue check thing as well, too. Because, like I say, that now you can buy the blue check thing. Before you had to be verified and you had to do this and you had to do that, but now you can actually you can buy one.
I was just in somebody's face and I just got the thing where you ain't got to pay for it. He just picked some knowledge over there. I don't know if people don't like him, but hey, I went on there to listen, and he said, "You got an iPhone?" I recorded it, so I would have to try to figure out how I'm gonna put it up there without him seeing it, because I would have to post it on Twitter. But he said if you have an iPhone and you take Twitter off your phone and put it back on there, download Twitter, and then he said do your update for your Apple phone, and that blue check will be up there automatically. You don't have to pay for it. And all you do is keep making sure that it's up there so that it stays up there. Sometimes he says it goes away, but he said that's how you can get it for free. I'm not sure.
Sound like a good way to lose all your followers in your account to me.
I didn't know. I wasn't sure because I don't have one, so I didn't know.
I ain't knocking anybody that wants to buy it or whatever. My thing is that what happens if you miss a month or whatever and you don't pay it and they take the check away from you?
Yeah. So it's not the check, right? Everybody want to be seen with the blue check, but it's really opening up the algorithm so your content could be seen. We all in content boxes, and we being throttled based on how many followers we have and who we interact with. The blue check, the reason why so much engagement on people with the blue check who's verified is because once you get the blue check, it opens up the algorithm to you. So instead of only 300 people seeing what you say, now 3,000 people see it, and then it matriculates as more and more and more. So I'll pay for it, not because I want somebody to see it.
Also, your videos are 10 minutes too. The videos that you post are longer. You get other perks when you have that.
Yeah. That's also a fact. But I will post it just to open up the algorithm the way that it's explained. Why should blue checks be the only ones that get to dominate every single piece of content on Twitter? Every blue check got a monopoly on followers, a monopoly on content. Some of them say the dumbest shit that any one of us could say. It's not really that clever. They're not really that talented, but they get all of these likes and thumbs up because they got
or they steal your shit.
Right.
And two, I also thought the blue check was a way of just, you know what I'm saying, basically validating your account. Okay, Shepard, you got an account. I come out here, I take exactly your same name and profile and picture and everything else up there. But since you have that blue check, you're the real Shepard, and I'm not.
Yeah, no, it is. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Damn, I love stealing her shit. It's bigger than Nino Brown. I hope that sister's hope her ear itch every time I say that. So look, it's bigger than that because it's an algorithm that opens it's a door you get to go on. Everybody with 150 followers, 300 followers, you trapped. You got 1,000 followers like me. I got 1,700. We trapped. We can't get our content out to the people that will help our accounts grow. So we just throwing content in a hole. Even you, Newstoter, you in an algorithm box, so you should buy it just for your business. And now watch how your shit start exploding after you get it.
Also, make sure your the number of people that you are following and the number of people that are following you are now the people that are following you and the people that you are following. You can't have one higher than the other. So the one that
now, I don't know tip on that one. I don't know if that's a fact. This is the problem with that. Let me explain the tech part of it because I'm in a lot of tech rooms, right? Again, okay. If you have more followers, right? If you follow more people, you see more on Twitter. Like me, I follow 4,000 people on purpose because for me tinkering around with the algorithm, I see more spaces. I see thousands of spaces in my timeline. I see thousands of posts. Since I have a small account, I follow more people so I can have more access to Twitter. See, to me, it doesn't work the way that people think it works, and it's been very successful for me. When I look at my screen of how many spaces are up right now, I see 600 spaces right now. Like you may only follow like 100 people, 200 people. You may see 5 spaces, 2 spaces. So I want all of the cable programming. So I follow all of these people because that's how I see more spaces and more content on my Twitter. So that's why I do it.
Yeah, that's true because, like I was saying, there's some people some things I follow that they're not going. I know they're not going to follow me back. I'm following them for a certain reason. It's a reason why I'm following them. But when I go back through and I follow people, and I do it, I go back through and I shade my stuff down because it has worked for me as far as engagement. When I post stuff, the difference in me when I went and changed it, it did work for me.
Yeah, so think of Twitter Spaces like radio shows. So your radio dial, your FM dial has so many channels. Now imagine if you only had 92.5 and 92.7 and that was it. But if you followed more people, you would have the whole FM dial. And now as you talking to different people in spaces, your account is grown. Usually when I look at spaces,
that ain't what it is though. What it is that the people that I'm no longer following, what happens is they start following me, so my stuff gets huge, and those people that are following me, I also see stuff like that. Sometimes I see space, and I'm like, what the hell? These people follow me, so I'm able to still see those spaces.
Well, I think it works both ways. So it works exactly the way that I'm saying it. Because my page is proof that it works that way from what I can see on my dashboard. So since I follow 4,000 people, I see more. So if you follow more people, you see more. But then there's this social contract where people have this kind of ego thing. I don't want to follow too many more people than this. And that's a whole different thing. I'm here not for how people see my page if I'm socially correct. I'm here to see information. So that's all I'm saying.
I tell you one thing, this was a shrewd move by Elon Musk because it's gonna pump more and more money into Twitter. Like it was this was a pretty smart business move on his part because now, like I say, that everybody couldn't get that damn check before, but now you pretty much freeing it up to anybody and everybody. So this may possibly pump billions of dollars into Twitter right here. So that was a pretty smart move on his part right there.
What's crazy is that was already out there because when I was trying to get it, what it tells you is that it tells you where you're, like he was saying on the dashboard, it'll tell you which, like it has 3 criteria. If you meet those 3, my next one is the 10,000 mark. That's the only thing I'm missing. But as far as buying, they already had that buying power thing before of what I saw on my dashboard.
Ray, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
No, I just wanted to. I know I'm just touching back on what I was saying earlier. I dropped down for I left the mic for a second. I want y'all to see just a couple of things I got from the film and I put it up on the jumbotron to the far left corner. I just took a picture of what they were filming. I got a hat. I helped unload one of the jets that was used in the filming, and I got a Top Gun coin. So just wanted to just let y'all know that.
Shepard, let me ask you real quick. Do you plan on going to see Black Panther 2? And real quick about Farrakhan, because I know you heard some of the discussion. I mean, how do you feel about Farrakhan stepping in for Kanye and Kyrie Irving?
I'll take the Black Panther one first. Now I'm not planning on going to see it. Not for no reason. I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise. The first Black Panther movie, I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending of it. I didn't like the non-development of the Killmonger character. How they never showed like the plot of Killmonger, like who was Killmonger working with. Why couldn't they show like Killmonger in the black community more? and some of that, early plot. Like I didn't like it. It was kind of corny to me. I don't even like how the ships look. Like I don't like much about it. I think that whoever was writing it again, it's a lot of white writers on this movie too. I just don't see it as that imaginative.
Marvel
On
Studios.
the Black Panther. So I don't see it that imaginative, as far as fiction for me. I'm a fan of the comic book. Some of the plots in the comic book was better, especially when Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing it. You got to understand too, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee is the two white writers and creators of the Black Panther. So you really going to see something that's created by white people, like off the rip. That's not nothing black in this for us. They could put black people in it and have new black energy in it now, but that's just to capture our dollars. That money going straight back to, the same complaints that people have for the Woman King. It's gonna be real hypocritical when you see everybody wearing kente cloth now and doing the X on their chest when that's all coming from Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and the white writers from Marvel. But everybody was giving Woman King all this smoke. So it's gonna be real funny to see everybody change their tune for Black Panther. So I am a big fan of Shorty Lupita, thick as hell. But that's another story. As far as Farrakhan, it's a lot of things the nation people don't see about the nation, man. The nation took a lot of drug dealers, drug addicts, a lot of destitute alcoholics. They just open their doors to everybody. If you have problems, the nation kind of became what the black church was supposed to be. Not a place where you rich and you go in and you ain't getting judged. You getting judged for how you dressed in the church. The nation was that alternative for the black community at the time, and still is for a lot of brothers. That's why you see when them brothers rise up, they look really strong and healthy. Their skin is glowing. They look like brothers who just came home from doing a 10-year bid. They look refreshed and rejuvenated. So what he's done in the black community, whether he hasn't changed the structure of the white supremacy power structure, he has changed black men from the inside out and put them back into the community as forces for good, for their own families. Like even the men's families that be in the nation be saying, yeah, Rob wasn't like this, man. He was a stick-up kid. He was a demon. Now he on the straight and narrow, the Siratul Mustaqim, as they say in Islam. So, as far as the Kyrie shit, I think we covered most of that. You know how I feel about that bullshit.
Yeah, I have to give the nation its credit and stuff like that. And I know people, and like I said, I know a lot of times people feel like the nation is too I don't know, I guess too seclusive, and they only do things for, you have to almost be a Muslim in order for them to actually help out and stuff like that. I've heard that they actually do other things in the community as well too, because you had the nation at times go in some of the worst projects and stuff like that, and kind of control the flow of crime and drugs and stuff like that. I know how people say, well, they should do it more often and this and that, and maybe you can make a case for that as well too. But I have to kind of give the nation their due and their credit. A lot of people, they feel like, even Farrakhan, some people, revere him highly, and other people feel like that he's almost in a Jesse Jackson type or whatever. I've always had respect for him for the simple fact, like I feel like he has changed the life of a lot of black people and stuff in this country, especially a lot of black men. So I have to, and I know as he's got older, a lot of people say, well, Farrakhan, he's hanging out with the Scientologists and he's hanging out with these people and this and that. Sometimes as people get older and stuff like that, even people start talking about Jim Brown and stuff like that. Listen, I'm like this here. If you've dedicated your life, if you dedicated your life to the fight and the struggle and stuff like that, I am, and I know nobody's perfect, and I'm not trying to sit here, but I am going to kind of give you a little bit of a leeway. That's just me personally. Like, I mean, if you put your life on the line for your people, you've done a lot of great acts and a lot of great deeds, and you can also pull the receipts and stuff like that. I may not agree with 100% of the things you say and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm surprised too to hear like Farrakhan with the Scientologists and this and that or whatever. I've even heard people say that one of his kids married a white woman and stuff like that. Nobody's perfect. I just have may be different than somebody else in the space. So I have respect for him, and I have a reverence for him to a certain degree and whatnot, because like I say, I like that the impact that the Nation of Islam has done. I'm not a Muslim. Charles Dutton said on Minister Society, I ain't a Muslim. If it's gonna help one of my boys get better than or whatever, then hey, more power to him. Hey, Ray, you there? So if down here, uh-oh. Hey, anybody, can you guys hear me in the space? Anybody can hear me, let me know. Let me know. Let me check and see if any of our people can hear or damn weather. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me? Oh, Lord. Well, fellas, on YouTube, it seems like we lost down here in Florida. We dealing with hurricane weather, so we look like we end up losing the Twitter space. But guys, we will go ahead and get back with you because we dealing with some severe weather down here. So I will check you out next time. So I appreciate everybody coming in. So thank you, guys.